A brain, right? All right. What is the outer layer? What are those things called on the outside of the brain?
Dura mater.
Yeah, all three are called the meninges. The outer one, the outermost one you see all the time is called the dura mater. Okay. Here is the dura that's been stripped off. All right. This is just coming off the left side. The outer thick white part is the dura. There's just no getting around it. But you have to say what? Dura, or do you have to say dura?
Dura mater.
No, you have to spell it out. You can't just put dura. We got different divisions coming through. What's the part of the dura that sits right on top of the cerebellum?
Here.
Latin for roof is tentorium, or roof, tentorium cerebelli. That's the little divot that comes through. Do you even see the crista galli in here? No. I mean the falx cerebri? No, you can't. So that's the brain with it on, and most of our specimens have got it stripped off. We can ask you basic things about the brain. What lobe would this be up here? Frontal. What lobe would this be back here?
Occipital.
Occipital. What's the one on the very back? Occipital's back. What's the one on the top?
Parietal.
Parietal. One down on the side,
Temporal.
temporal. What's the groove in between the two hemispheres?
Longitudinal fissure.
Right, see, it's not hard. Once you know the vocabulary from the human brain, this is not hard at all. What's the one that separates cerebrum, cerebellum?
Transverse.
Yeah, there you go. Now, you do an inferior view, we can take all of these. Most of these sheep brains have been trashed. It's hard to find ones that still have cranial nerves intact. It's hard to find them. Some of these over here may be a little bit better. If we're going to ask you that, we'll get you one that's better to ask you different parts of. But remember the landmarks I told you about. What's the thing that crosses?
The optic phase.
Yeah, can you see that? Sure, right there. What's the big lump on the undersurface of the brain? Pons. Find those two structures, you can start figuring out what's in between. What's the region and what are those structures right above the pons? Exactly. And they're part of the midbrain, which is part of all that. There you go. See, it's not hard. It really isn't. What are the huge nerves that are better developed in sheep and animals? What do they use for? What's
Olfactory bulbs.
Yeah, olfactory. Here's a bulb and the nerve coming back here. They're huge. They go back. So there's 1, 2. Good luck with 3 and 4. You can't find them on this model. And then 5, 6, 7, and 8 would all be around the pons. On this particular one, shredded. And we can use these and give you some mid-sagittal cuts. Here's a mid-sagittal view. That one is stained that way. I had one that was darker, we'll just take that. Alright, so here's some of the major structures. Remember the C-shape that I talked about? What's the top one? The most superior C is the which C?
Cingulate.
Gyrus. Right. What's the next big white C?
Corpus
Callosum. And then a little divot right down there will be the fornix. The little membrane that separates the fornix from the corpus is the septum pellucidum. So if you know the vocabulary, it really isn't hard. It's not bad, but now that you've seen it, it really won't be bad. What's this region of the brain? It's probably part of the thalamus, right smack in the middle. Right below those C things is going to be the thalamus. The portion of the thalamus going down, the hypothalamus, contains infundibulum. There's no pituitary here. There are 4 bumps back here. You can only see 2. What are the 4 bumps called?
Quadrigemina.
Yeah, corpora quadrigemina. And there they are. There's the superior and the inferior colliculus. You see them right there. Okay. What's this guy sitting off the back here?
Cerebellum.
Cerebellum. What's the white matter in the cerebellum called?
Arbor vitae.
Arbor vitae. I've got a space right below the cerebellum. What's that space? Fourth ventricle. Okay. If I were to actually take, there's a space here going off to the side, what would this space be?
Lateral ventricle.
Yeah, it's the and that would be the right lateral ventricle because they're in the cerebral hemispheres. If we ask you what space should be located in here, that would be the third ventricle. Okay, the thing that connects the third to the fourth, cerebral aqueduct. Okay, so really, it's not bad, and the diagram is self-explanatory. Once you've learned it on the human models, now that you've seen this, you won't be thrown off. It's not hard. We don't kill you. The cranial nerves, you just have to memorize. We will make sure you have a particular specimen that's got some cranial nerves intact to find. Does this guy have much of anything? Not really. We have to go fish because they get damaged every year. There's a whole unopened bucket back there where you open up new bags and fish them out. But if you know that sequence up there, you'll get it. So this is cranial nerve 1. Where it crosses is 2. And 3 and 4 are somewhere in this region. We'll have to pick them out for you. As you get down to the pons, what's the big bump coming off the side of the pons? Which nerve is that? 5. But we'll have one that's got a huge 5, cranial nerve 5 coming for you. 6, 7, 8, they never show up good here, and good luck. That might be the olive, it might not. So we can't kill you on the sheep brain. If we can't find it, we can't ask you. We don't try to trick you. We really don't.